Do you agree or disagree with Coach Stefanski keeping Dylan Gabriel as the starting quarterback, and how would you judge Dylan Gabriel's play so far?
Yes.
Yes, you agree.
Yes, I agree.
Why so? Tell me about Dylan Gabriel's play.
I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. If the untrained eye is expecting the Cleveland Browns to put Shedeur Sanders in at quarterback,
okay,
with what he has at his disposal, you'll be a fool to think that he gonna do anything different than Dylan Gabriel.
You're not gonna believe the chaos Cam Newton just unleashed. He didn't talk about the Cleveland Browns. He opened the toolbox, grabbed the verbal sledgehammer, and flattened them from Lake Erie to the state line. The dog pound might need emotional support animals after this one. And then, out of nowhere, he drops a bomb about Shedeur Sanders. According to Cam, Shedeur might be the luckiest man in the sport for not setting foot on that field yet.
I don't think the Cleveland Browns really want him to succeed. No.
Sante Samuel said it's grueling to be on a team where these players have been in Cleveland and they see the opportunity to win with Shedeur, but the team refuses to put Shedeur in the game to win. They refuse to put the team in the best scenario, win. That's what he's.
There are bad football teams, and then there are the Cleveland Browns. See, the Browns aren't just bad at football, they've turned it into an art form. If failure were an Olympic event, they'd not only win gold, they'd set a world record, celebrate too early, trip over the podium, and then lose the medal because someone forgot to file the paperwork and the backup paperwork.
Because what the majority of what we hear is put Shedeur in if you want to win. We've seen that 2-7.
If you're a fan of the Cleveland Browns, or if you're a fan of Shedeur Sanders, you wouldn't even want him to be in that type of situation.
You have to elaborate.
Because I'm going to tell you like this. They got a lot of dead cap money in who?
Myles Garrett. Oh, and Deshaun Watson.
Thank you so much, sir. Deshaun Watson is making $46 million.
Cash for sure.
$46 million.
That's how elite they are at chaos. The Browns don't just struggle, they've built an entire institution around disappointment. A legacy. A museum of heartbreak with free admission and no exit signs. So when Cam Newton decided to go in on them, it wasn't commentary. It was a demolition job. No violence, no profanity, just that beautiful, poetic brand of football slander that leaves a franchise staring into the distance, wondering why it even exists.
Oh, if you're asking me, Coach Stefanski should have been left. Been up out of there. What you say, man? Stick your left foot in, stick your left foot out, took your left foot in, and you shake it all around.
Man, that shit a hokey pokey for boy.
Hokey pokey. Man, touch your buddy on this show. Hey, man, come on up out of there. Yeah. As soon as we seen what Joe Flacco did in Thursday Night Football, oh, bro.
So that was truly the nail in the coffin.
Man, listen.
It ain't the coach. But also you got to think about what Joe Flacco is working with. Like you said, he has two.
That's where my leniency happens. You don't got no good play. You traded for Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy ain't what we thought Jerry Jeudy was.
The Browns asked for smoke without realizing smoke turns into fire, and fire turns into ashes, a sight Cleveland fans have grown almost too comfortable witnessing every single season. Cam didn't stroll in with a gentle breakdown. There was no slow analysis, no backhanded compliments, no to be fair disclaimers. Nope.
We've lost so much that we are grasping onto anything. The coach, the GM, at least we got this. No, guys, this is the second time in how many weeks that you see coaches on the sideline laughing at you. It was Vrabel and then it was Glenn this week, jumping up, celebrating. And if that's not embarrassing to the owner, if it's not embarrassing to the organization, it should be embarrassing to the fans. And I wouldn't show up to do nothing with them on Sunday. I'd leave every seat orange if that's what they feel like is acceptable.
And here's the wildest part. Cam wasn't even talking about a current game. He wasn't breaking down film, stats, or matchups. He was talking about Shedeur Sanders and why Shedeur should be grateful he's nowhere near the Browns. Forget player development. Forget contracts. Forget legacy. This wasn't football analysis, this was survival advice. Like avoiding a haunted house not because you're scared, but because you know the ghosts cheat, because when Cam says the Browns are so bad they could make Shedeur Sanders look bad, that's a statement. That's not criticism, that's a full-blown structural indictment. That's like saying a Michelin star chef could walk into their kitchen and somehow the food would still come out tasting like a 3 a.m. gas station microwave burrito. Doesn't matter how good the ingredients are, the Browns will find a way to ruin it. It's who they are. It's their brand. They take talent and gently, lovingly, systematically dismantle it until it's unrecognizable. You'd roll out of bed and see Shedeur on the sideline holding his helmet like he's questioning every life choice that led him here, the same expression students get when they realize they picked the wrong major freshman year, and it's way too late to switch.
They're very buttoned up with their messaging. They've done a great job of eliminating all the leaks that used to make Sundays so much fun for us as we were wondering who's going to leak what to the national media. I also think the players have done a great job of sticking to the team message. That doesn't mean that any of the guys believe the message they're actually sending. How could they at this point?
How could they at this point is the answer I would want to find out, right? Like, how could they? There's 53 of them in there. You think they all are look at Dillon Gabriel and say, this is the answer?
Because the Browns don't do rebuilding. They do recycling. They take quarterbacks, run them through the industrial washing machine of dysfunction, and return them to the league as confused, slightly traumatized versions of their former selves. The list is legendary, a memorial wall of careers that entered with promise and exited with therapy appointments, and the speed of the decline? Breathtaking. You can walk into the Browns facility as a 5-star prospect and walk out 8 weeks later holding a clipboard, wearing a headset, and starring in a biography titled "Things Didn't Go as Planned." The Browns aren't harmful because they lack talent, they're harmful because they misuse it like a science experiment gone wrong. One moment you get a defensive stand worthy of a documentary, and the very next play the offense collapses with the kind of drama usually reserved for daytime TV. You might see a highlight reel touchdown followed immediately by a turnover so bewildering you'd swear the players are reading a different playbook entirely.
I know a lot of people will say this too, like, the Browns have historically rushed rookie quarterbacks onto the field before they're ready. Ruin them. I mean, I know that's the whole thing. Like, what quarterback are we going to ruin next year and all this kind of stuff. The difference this year for me is that this season is gone. It's lost. And you already know that the first rookie you tried to put out there is clearly not it. And it's not even a matter of him not being ready. I just don't think he's capable, period. There's no amount of time, practice, experience that's going to suddenly make him capable. We need to see if Shedeur is, because we've got those 2 first-round picks next year. And I keep saying, if you're going to burn a first-round pick next year, you better be damn sure that Shedeur Sanders is no good.
And Cam didn't sugarcoat a single molecule of this. He basically said Shedeur should be counting blessings every morning like he escaped a disaster movie. It's the football version of missing a flight and finding out later the plane had turbulence so violent half the passengers saw their ancestors. Sometimes misfortune becomes fortune when Cleveland is involved. Every football fan knows the Browns are where optimism goes to be humbled. Analysts always try to sell hope to Browns fans like a motivational seminar. New coaches. New draft picks. New direction. But there's always that quiet little voice, hidden somewhere under the hype, whispering the obvious. We've heard this before. Over and over again. The cycle never ends. The sun rises, the moon sets, and the Browns find new ways to sabotage themselves. So of course Cam felt justified in saying Shedeur should stay far away. The Browns could take a Lamborghini engine and turn it into a lawnmower. They could take a generational quarterback and turn him into a trivia question. They could take an entire team of Pro Bowlers and end the season with everyone Googling, what went wrong this time? It isn't personal. It's historical. And yet Browns fans will defend their team with passion. They'll point at off-season acquisitions, smart draft picks, maybe even a good start to a season.
This doesn't get talked about because we're talking about the here and now. There's a chance that Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback of this team exactly a year from now.
You are the first person I've ever heard say that. You're the first person.
You ain't gotta watch out.
Like, listen. I forgot what it feels like.
Let that out for us. What's the process or what's the plan?
Well, I mean, the process is it's clearly not the guy it is now. Right? And you're going to go in and you're going to have, let's say, pick 5 and pick 15, right? You need tackle, you need receiver, you need these other things. If you think Shedeur can play and you think Shedeur is going to use the offseason to get better, then you draft another quarterback in the 3rd round and you go forward with those 2 guys, and then you sit and wait on 20.
But deep down they know what's coming. They know the meltdown is waiting in the shadows, ready to strike at the funniest possible moment, usually on national television. Browns football is not a sport, it's a storyline. It has arcs, twists, plot devices, unexpected tragedies, and a dramatic collapse right when everything looks promising. There's a reason people say being a Browns fan builds character. That's because you get to practice disappointment so consistently you start to master it. When your team finds new ways to lose, your emotional reactions evolve. That's the danger Cam Newton was circling around. Not just losing. Not just bad coaching. But the gravitational pull of mediocrity so powerful it bends talent. The team culture that doesn't just fail, but pulls other people down with it. The Browns don't only take L's, they spread L's like pollen. And imagine if Shedeur got caught in that. All the media attention, all the spotlight, all the expectations would land on his shoulders. And when the Browns inevitably start Browns ing, the headlines wouldn't say the team failed him. Oh no. They would say Shedeur failed the team. Because that's what always happens. Fresh new quarterback walks into the fire and walks out as the main storyline in why things didn't work. The Browns are the ultimate accountability Uno reverse card.
Shedeur Sanders, this message is directed to you. Lead with work, not clout. I'll say it again. Lead with work, not clout. Lead with you're working to be the starting quarterback to a unproven quarterback role. This is a great situation for Shedeur.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying?
It was looking like a question mark to me, but I want to hear your take on that.
No. This is a great situation here. Because it's not like he's going into a quarterback room, no matter where whoever was drafted.
Cam Newton might have delivered the message with humor, but the warning underneath was deadly serious. Shedeur doesn't need that smoke. He doesn't need that chaos laboratory. Not now. Not early. Not when his confidence is building and his potential is wide open. Because once the Browns get a hold of your career, sometimes the only escape is retirement or therapy. People think Cam was exaggerating. But was he really? Think back to all the quarterbacks who looked amazing on paper, got drafted by the Browns, and suddenly the only throw they could complete was to the other team. These weren't scrubs. These were prospects with highlight tapes and scouting reports filled with words like upside and mobility and decision-making. The Browns took that potential, put it in the blender of confusion, and served it to fans on Sundays. So when Cam said Shedeur should be grateful he's not playing there, it sounded funny, but it also sounded familiar. Because how many times have we seen generational talent wasted? How many careers ended before they even started? Some franchises nurture quarterbacks. Others devour them. And the Browns host an all-you-can-eat buffet. That's why the football world didn't get mad at Cam. They just nodded. Because deep down everyone knows the Browns are the NFL's glitch in the matrix. Every year they rebuild the roster like a child building Legos without instructions, and somehow the pieces still come out sideways.
Jimmy is so well-intended, guys. Jimmy's not intentionally screwing this up. Jimmy wants to win more than anybody because his name is the one getting slandered and thrown through the mud here. I think Jimmy, finally, the clarity has hit him. Well, we were not bad when Dorsey was making the picks. And when the new King Scout came in and started telling everybody who we were going to draft, we went in the tank. And last year, I empowered Andrew, this is your draft. Make it a good one.
Yeah.
And I know you disagree with that, Bull, but and I don't know that we'll ever find out.
We won't. But to me, that just puts all the blame on the Podesta, and that would be great if that were the case, but I just don't buy that.
Shedeur Sanders doesn't need that. He has a brand. He has a spotlight. He has all eyes waiting to see what he becomes. And dropping him into Cleveland would feel like throwing designer fabric into a washing machine with broken glass. There's just no point risking it. Save the talent for a franchise that knows what to do with it. So yes, Cam Newton went in on the Browns. But he didn't do it to be petty. He didn't do it to pick on fans. He didn't do it because of some rivalry. He did it because the film doesn't lie, the history doesn't lie, and the Browns don't lie, they tell the truth every season with their performance. Maybe one day the Browns will break the cycle. Maybe someday a quarterback will enter that building and walk out better than he went in. But until that day arrives, no one is blaming Shedeur for keeping his distance. In fact, that might be the smartest move he could ever make. And if Cam sounded passionate about that, he had every right. Because some warnings need to be loud. Some warnings need to be dramatic. When you're trying to keep talent away from a black hole, whispering isn't going to cut it. Yelling is appropriate. Jokes are appropriate. Sarcasm is appropriate. It's survival. And here's the punchline, the Browns probably heard all of this and still think they're just one move away from a Super Bowl run. That's the ultimate Browns energy. Denial, hope, heartbreak, repeat. And the cycle keeps spinning.
All he ever says is that Shedeur is, he's doing a great job of, understanding the game plans each week and doing a great job of understanding the speed and doing a great job at this and doing a great job at that and doing everything's great job. Like, I appreciate the confidence. That's great. He should be, if you should build him up. Don't want to break him down. But it does lead us to the question as to why is he not playing then?
Meanwhile, Shedeur is somewhere smiling like a man who avoided a lifetime supply of headaches. He doesn't need the Browns' experience. No young quarterback does. And if the Browns are offended by that, there is a very simple solution: stop proving people right. Until then, Cam Newton's point stands like a billboard on the side of the highway. Sometimes being benched is a blessing. Sometimes not being drafted is protection. And sometimes the biggest W of your career is not wearing a Browns jersey. And the funniest part? The Browns will absolutely hear all of this and respond the only way they know how, by playing slightly better for 2 games just to get everybody's hopes up again. It's their signature move. They give fans a small sample of competence, let everyone start printing playoff shirts, then slam the emotional brakes so hard the entire fanbase goes airborne. It's performance art at this point. Not football art. Because the Browns winning a few games is like a movie trailer that looks incredible, but then you watch the full film and realize every good moment was in the trailer. And now you're stuck staring at the screen wondering how something that looked so promising became so aggressively average. That's Browns football, all set up, no payoff. So of course Cam Newton wasn't trying to hide the message. He basically threw a warning sign into the universe for every young quarterback with potential: enter Cleveland at your own risk.
Shedeur Sanders isn't going to play. Unless, like we said on Sunday, there is this plan for Shedeur to have the final 4 games of the season, and that is written in stone. Is the only way it's going to happen. Is Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam saying, Kevin, we don't give a what you think or what you want to do. You will play Shedeur Sanders the final 4 games. That is the only way this is going to happen, or unless Dylan gets hurt during a game. Otherwise, over Kevin's dead body are you going to see Shedeur Sanders in the game. He doesn't want him. I don't think he likes him. I don't think he wants anything to do with him. I don't think he wants him on the team. I don't think he's happy that he's on the team.
Not because the fans are bad, not because the city is bad, but because the Browns are the Bermuda Triangle of quarterback development. You go in with swagger, ability, and optimism. You come out silent, confused, and ready to become a backup somewhere warm. And imagine the media frenzy if Shedeur ever went there. If things went wrong, and with the Browns they almost always do, the blame wouldn't be on the coaching staff, the dysfunctional organization, or the fact that the game plan changes every week like a student rewriting a term paper the night before it's due. No. The media would pin it all on Shedeur. Overnight. No hesitation. No nuance. Headlines would appear so fast you'd swear they were pre-written. That's what Cam Newton was protecting him from, reputation damage disguised as opportunity. And honestly, who can argue? Staying away from the Browns isn't disrespectful. It's smart. It's career insurance. It's financial planning for your legacy. It's the quarterback version of refusing to join a band that always breaks up mid-tour. If the Browns ever want players like Shedeur, the fix is simple: stop being the Browns. Stop turning talent into cautionary tales. Stop letting hope expire by November. Stop giving the world the same script every season and expecting a different ending. Until that happens, no one is going to blame Shedeur for enjoying football from a team that isn't actively trying to turn his confidence into compost.